Welcome to historic Oakwood Cemetery in Syracuse, New York. Oakwood was established in 1859 as part of the rural cemetery movement. It was planned and landscaped as a park-like setting where city folks could escape the dirt and dust of downtown streets. There are 159 acres with over 60,000 burials. You can see our starting point for this tour just ahead, the chapel. The chapel was built in 1879. It was constructed of Onondaga limestone, and the architect was Joseph Lyman Silsby. But it's time to start our tour. Today we're going to visit the final resting place of three children who will be forever young. Our first visit is to Lester Tucker, who died 9 days shy of his 4th birthday. All we have to remember Lester by is his monument in Oakwood. His parents, Clarence and Martha, are also buried in the same lot, but neither of them have headstones. This unique marker is of a child's chair with a small shoe and a cape. It displays a Victorian sentimentality that although the child has been taken, his earthly possessions are forever there in stone to comfort the family. Even the back of the chair is stylized. The monument, as you can see, is on a hillside. As with many monuments in Oakwood, the base sank and tilted, and the chair fell off. In 2011, Hackba volunteers righted Lester's chair. Look at the detail. You can almost imagine shoelaces on that shoe. The cape is also interesting. The drawstring, the tassel. I wonder if the interruption in the string signifies a life interrupted. There's one line of print on Lester's monument that really captures his parents' bereavement. The line is from a poem that was published in his death notice by the Syracuse Standard of May 11th, 1869. A blossom whose unfolding bloom grew lovelier every day. We saw the sudden fire consume, the blight no hand could stay. No human skill can now avail our darling to restore. But oh, there's comfort in the thought, not lost, but gone before. As we head to our next site, let me remind you that it would be very rare to have a portrait of a child from the middle of the 19th century. We don't have a picture of Lester, nor do we have a picture of our next child. We're going to visit the gravesite of Willie F. H. Price, who died at the age of just 6.5. This is the Price family plot in section 12. Willie's father was the merchant prince of Syracuse, Milton S. Price. Milton S. Price was a wealthy man. In 1865, his income was $24,000. Well, in today's money, that would be equal to over $400,000. His store was on South Salina Street between Washington and Fayette Street. His home was on the corner of Jefferson and Salina. The family monument is extremely artistic and truly unique. Just to the right of it is Willie's Memorial. It's topped by a sleeping child with a dog lying next to him. This is looking at it from a little different angle. Willie died at 6.5 years of age. His mother, Rhoda, died on October 13th, 1888, of malaria. The following April, Milton S. Price passed away. Oh, look over there. I guess we're not the only ones in Oakwood today. Theodore Shane's story is that of a pandemic that took place just over 100 years ago. America was in the grips of the Spanish flu. Here's Ted, as he liked to be called. He was a typical 9-year-old boy, except that he got caught up in the pandemic. No, he never caught the flu. Well, here's the story. In October of 1918, the pandemic was running wild in Syracuse. Mayor Walter Stone called for a lockdown, including public schools. There were warnings all over. Finally, on October 25th, the lockdown was lifted. So what's a typical 9-year-old boy who's been housebound for 3 weeks going to do? Well, he's going to run out his front door and run and run and run. From his house on Hovey Street, he ran over to his grandmother's on South Avenue. There he met some friends and they started east on Tallman. Along the way, they spotted a chicken, so they decided to chase it. And wouldn't you know, the chicken darted into the Caldwell lumber yard. The boys ran across the bridge that crosses the Onondaga Creek, and they too darted into the lumber yard. They followed that chicken to sheds that had wooden poles piled up. The chicken perched itself atop one of the piles, and the boys, led by Ted, followed. The pile gave way, poles tumbled down, catching Ted. He was severely injured and died the next day. It seems the pandemic had claimed another life. You know, the ancient Egyptians had a saying, to speak the name of the dead is to give them life once more. That's the least we can do for Lester, Willie, and Ted, 3 children who will remain forever young. This tour was presented by the Historic Oakwood Cemetery Preservation Association. Visit our website at hocpa.org. Thank you, and do come again.